The foundation of fair housing law. It is the policy of the United States to provide within constitutional limitations for fair housing throughout the United States. 42 U.S.C. Paragraph 3601. Fair housing is not just a legal requirement, it is a fundamental principle that governs every real estate transaction. The Federal Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in residential real estate activities and applies to agents, brokers, lenders, landlords, and anyone involved in housing-related transactions. Under the law, discrimination is prohibited based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, disability, handicap. These are known as protected classes, and every interaction you have with a client, customer, or member of the public must be consistent with these protections. What the law prohibits in real estate practice. The Fair Housing Act makes it unlawful to engage in a wide range of behaviors if they are based on a protected class. These include refusing to sell or rent a property, refusing to negotiate, making a property unavailable, changing terms or conditions of a transaction, providing different services or access, advertising in a discriminatory way, misrepresenting availability, engaging in blockbusting. 42 U.S.C. Paragraph 3604 AF. These are not just obvious actions. Many violations occur through subtle behavior, tone, or wording that unintentionally creates a discriminatory effect. Advertising, where violations commonly occur. Fair housing violations frequently happen in marketing and advertising. Example, an agent writes, "Perfect for young professionals." This may seem harmless, but it implies a limitation based on age or familial status. Correct approach. Focus on the property, not the person. Modern condo with walkable access to restaurants and nightlife. The rule is simple. Describe the property, not the ideal buyer. Real estate-related transactions, it's more than sales. Fair housing laws extend beyond buying and selling. They apply to all real estate-related transactions, including lending appraisals, property management leasing, 42 U.S.C. Paragraph 3605. This means your responsibility does not stop at writing contracts. You are accountable for how you guide clients through the entire process. Disability, handicap. The most common area of violation. One of the most frequently misunderstood areas of fair housing law involves disability. A disability is defined as a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits a major life activity, a record of such impairment. Being regarded as having such an impairment, 42 U.S.C. Paragraph 3602 H. This includes obligations that go beyond non-discrimination. Reasonable accommodations and modifications. Real estate professionals must understand the difference between modifications, physical changes to a property, e.g., installing a wheelchair ramp, accommodations, changes to rules or policies, e.g., allowing a service animal in a no-pet property. Example, a tenant with a disability requests permission to install grab bars in a bathroom. The correct response, allow the modification at the tenant's expense, as long as it is reasonable. Failure to do so could result in a fair housing violation. The direct threat. Exception. Housing providers are not required to accept a tenant if there is a direct threat to health and safety or risk of substantial property damage. However, this must be based on facts, evidence, not assumptions or stereotypes. Real-life violations, how agents get into trouble. Example 1, familial status. An agent says, "This property isn't ideal for your kids, it's too small." Even if well-intended, this discourages a buyer based on familial status. Example 2, national origin. An agent tells a buyer, "The seller may be concerned since you're new to the country." This creates different terms based on national origin, clearly prohibited. Example 3, steering. An agent says, "I think you'd be more comfortable in this neighborhood." If based on a protected class, this is illegal steering. Example 4, false availability. An agent refuses to show a home because they assume the seller won't accept the buyer. This is a violation, even if the seller might feel that way. Example 5, lending guidance. An agent suggests a certain lender based on the buyer's background rather than qualifications. This creates unequal access to financing. Example 6, appraisal influence. An agent encourages an appraiser to consider personal characteristics of the seller. This is a serious violation that can impact valuation fairness. Example 7, accessibility restrictions. An agent says a buyer cannot modify a property for accessibility. This may violate disability protections. Example 8. Blockbusting. An agent tells a homeowner, "You should sell now before the neighborhood changes." This is illegal if tied to protected class changes. The hidden danger. You don't need intent. One of the most important concepts in fair housing law is this: you do not need to intend to discriminate to violate the law. Courts have held that a violation can occur if there is a discriminatory effect, even without intent. Example, an advertising campaign consistently targets only one demographic group. Even without intent, this may still be considered discriminatory. Testing. You may be evaluated without knowing it. Fair housing compliance is actively monitored. Testers, individuals posing as buyers or tenants, may evaluate what you say, what you show, how you respond. Their findings can be used as evidence in legal actions. The professional standard moving forward. Fair housing compliance is not about memorizing rules. It is about adopting a mindset. Treat every client equally. Provide the same information to everyone. Let clients make their own decisions. Focus on facts, not assumptions, bringing it all together. This section connects directly to everything we've discussed: advertising rules, disclosure obligations, professional standards, antitrust compliance. The common thread is this: your role is to provide information, not influence decisions based on personal characteristics. When you operate with fairness, transparency, and consistency, you not only comply with the law, you build trust, credibility, and long-term success. Online discussion. Question: why can a fair housing violation occur even without intent? Answer: because the law focuses on the effect of actions, not just the intent behind them. Question: what is the safest way to describe a property in advertising? Answer: by focusing on the features of the property rather than the type of person who should live there. Question: what is a reasonable accommodation? Answer: a change in rules or policies that allows a person with a disability equal use and enjoyment of a property.